Oh, Amy's just said about.
Yes. Okay, lovely. We'll add that in.
Exactly. So yes, you get the link.
Let me just bring it up. It's not up on your page just yet, so let me just refresh that. There we go.
Cool.
Give me a moment. I'll just get it onto the page, and I'll be with you.
Fab.
Lovely. Posting. I believe we're up and running. Let me just double check, and then I'm good to go.
Fabulous. I'm just putting. Oh.
How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been amazing weather, hasn't it? Just been out doing lots of dog walks and enjoying life.
Yeah, that's good. Right, I'm all up and running there. Good to go, and you are.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just wait for a few people to join. Because it literally is not quite 5 o'clock
how
yet.
Cold it's been. It's really nice and mild today.
I know, one of my had puppy classes yesterday, and we had lots of requests to continue because obviously I'm a predictor of the weather now. So despite having an indoor venue, I haven't needed to use it yet because the weather's just been glorious, and both evenings and daytime classes have been running outside, so it's been great.
Touch wood, it continues. That's what we
Exactly. We had in my classes yesterday, we had a rowing regatta, so we had loads of rowers and competitions, and I don't know if you've ever seen rowing, but there's lots of chat, screaming from coxes, and the dogs were like, oh, this is definitely a new arousal level that we've ever seen. So yeah,
novelty.
It's a lovely
novelty.
Absolutely, it's a lovely quiet venue most of the time, apart from when you've got rowing regattas, which is not something you maybe hear about often in training venues.
No, not in the Midlands anyway.
No.
Okay, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so
let's go.
Hi everybody, my name is Sarah Hawkins. I work and own Berkshire Dog Training, and I do things like classes that we're just talking about, workshops, and also one-to-one training walks. And I met Claire and Amy when I was doing my qualification. So Claire.
Hello, I'm Claire. I'm from Insight Hounds, based in the Midlands. Insight Hounds, we work with sight hounds, predominantly ex-racing greyhounds. And the other person that's normally with us but isn't today is Amy from Swindon Dog Training. So we will be mentioning Amy along the way, and notes that Amy's included in part of this live, but unfortunately she wasn't able to be with us today.
No.
So do you want to?
Yeah, let's kick off. So we have all got experience with dogs that have been maybe a little bit uncertain about, fireworks. And so we thought it was a really good opportunity to create another live, maybe sooner than maybe people expected, because it was only a couple of weeks since our last one. But there is some preparation that you can do to help your dog in advance of fireworks evening. And as a result of that, we thought we'd get in quick. We'd share some of our thoughts on that, and hence we're here this evening to give you a bit of support and guidance around what you can do, helping your dog on fireworks night or Diwali, which is coming up as well, and also preparation with some fun games with Halloween as well. So fireworks, most animals can be quite scared, feel quite scared about it, because there's noise, there's a smell to fireworks, and also the things we go ooh and ah about, but those kind of big sparkles in the sky, they're the things that kind of give us that sort of joy when we watch fireworks. But just seeing those for animals, in particular dogs, can be quite distressing. And so what we want to do is help you understand that it's not just the noise of the fireworks, but actually the other sounds and smells of the fireworks that can have an impact on your dog. So you may have a new dog, you may have a puppy, may have rescued your dog, you may not be aware of how they're going to respond to fireworks, or you may know already that your dog maybe is slightly more anxious. And so the hints and tips we're going to give you is to help you through that on the night. One of the things you can do, and we're a month away, so there may not be enough time to fully implement this as such, but you can help your dog cope with noises by playing some playlists that you can find on YouTube and on Spotify. Now, you have to be really careful when doing this, because fear is a behavior, and an anxiety is something that you need to seek professional advice about if your dog really does have a severe response to fireworks or loud noises. But you can help your dog become a little bit more acclimatized to those noises by playing some of these playlists at a very, very low level. And from there, you can start to see and watch your dog. But you need to be comfortable with actually how you're observing your dog. So you need to be fairly comfortable about what does your dog look like in their natural state. When they're happy, is their jaw relaxed? Is their back relaxed? Is their tail, in their usual position? And then as you start playing these noises, starting at a very low level, then you can then determine whether your dog is having any response to those noises that they're hearing. But obviously, one of the things we can't really replicate is the sparkles in the sky, or the smell. Don't want us running around going to try to recreate smells of fireworks as well. So it's only going to really help with one aspect of that element of fireworks. But it may help your dog just become more acclimatized to those noises when they do go off on these occasions. But it may take longer than a month that we have at the moment to help them with that. And like I say, if you do feel that you have maybe your dog's response is slightly more severe, then you definitely need to go and seek medical advice.
Definitely. And as Sarah says, always err on the side of caution. Yeah. Don't put your dog in a situation that's going to make them feel uncomfortable. And if you are working with any noises, start really low, and if your dog is upset, please seek professional advice. Well, while we're on the professional advice bit, I'm going to go over a few of the safety bits around the fireworks and bonfire night before we go on to areas where you can actually work with your dog to create a safe space, and some of the things you can actively do. I think the main thing, be mindful about your dog's got a house collar on, that they've got the tag on, which they should be wearing in a public place at all time. That's the law. That your fencing's secure. It's well worth starting and making sure you're doing your walks in daylight rather than in the night time, and also that you're working so your dogs have their meal when it's light rather than late at night. It's worth starting some of this now and adjusting the walk times if it's at all possible, and adjusting them, bringing them forward 5 minutes at a time, something along those lines, rather than all of a sudden on bonfire night we suddenly go from this routine to a very different routine where we bring everything forward by 3 hours because it's different for the dog. If we can adjust it gradually, that's a better way of doing it, and starting now doing that. Something to be aware of with your dogs is fear will often fear will always trump obedience. So if you're generally quite relaxed with your dog, like you can open the front door normally, your dog's quite relaxed, well behaved, will stay by your side. If there's delivery, if someone comes to your door, be aware that if they are scared with fireworks, the fear will overtake the obedience of what they've normally got in place, where you could normally say stay and they would stay, or something along those lines. So just make sure that you're erring on the side of caution around around bonfire night, Diwali, when the fireworks are going off, that you're taking extra precautions with doors being open and things along those lines. Have you got anything else you'd like to add to the safety side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky. A couple of my dogs just never had any reaction, and so it's only my current two who actually were really, really calm. But we had some fireworks that went off nearer to our house, and actually they then developed that sort of response. So you may find that your dog may be okay one year, but actually something might trigger them the next year. And I think you just need to keep an eye on it from that regard. So that preparation and that safety, keeping that mind's eye of actually kind of watching and keeping your dog safe. Means that you can be is really important for their well-being rather than our well-being of enjoying the fireworks.
Definitely. So creating a safe space inside your home, what are key things that you're going to be looking at to do that with that, Sarah, or recommend to clients and for your own dogs?
So one of the things I do is we talked about enrichment a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so that mental enrichment where they're going to take positive thoughts, feelings about something that's going to be good. So ironically, my dogs are behind me at the moment with a Kong that's filled with some really good stuff, actually, that's linked to the Halloween that we're going to talk about in a minute. So they've got some, and I'm starting to do that of an evening in order that they get that positive association with kind of sitting down and having that Kong. It could be a chew or a snuffle mat or anything that kind of gives them joy. It could be a time to play with them. But I've been starting to do some of that in order that the dogs get into sort of, oh, okay, this is where we do, we're going to sit down here and we're going to have a bit of a playtime, and this is what we're going to do with my human at the moment. So I'm starting to build that routine to get them into that sort of habit before dinner, that they're going to have a little bit of enrichment mentally and physical play, but indoors, and in the same room that we are going to be hiding out away from the fireworks.
Brilliant. So some other things you can do along the lines of what Sarah's doing, getting things in place nice and early. Some dogs like to have a bit of a den when the fireworks are going off. Some dogs, like, if your dog likes going in a crate, always leave the crate door open, but sometimes a blanket over the top of the crate can give that sense of security, or a blanket over a table or something like that, so they've got a place to hide out. One of my dogs has got a bed under the stairs, which I absolutely love. That's the safe space for him, is to go under there, and it's just got that enclosed feeling, which he loves. Whereas my girl likes the space and likes to be able to lie out, even if she's a bit nervous. She prefers the space around her. So it's working out what your dog likes, and as Sarah's doing now, he's starting to put positive associations with those areas beforehand, and making sure that we're not just suddenly putting a blanket over a crate on bonfire night, because then that's changing the associations for the dog. We want them to be used to that, and it's a good place to hang out. Never shut a crate door on the dog.
No,
but there's quite a few things with the site sense. No, sorry,
that's okay. Carry on.
The same, there's quite a few areas to consider with the, as Sarah was saying earlier, with the scent, the smells and the sight. Drawing curtains can be quite helpful, because if your dogs can actually see the fireworks, that can be quite distressing to them.
My Ridgeback used to bark at them all the time, but it was not an aggressive bark. It was more, he was enjoying it, he was responding it, as from that perspective. So he wasn't scared of them, but it was just because obviously their reinforcement is, it barks and then it goes away again, and barks and goes away again. So it was more annoying for the neighbours than anything else. So curtains had to be shut.
They weren't scared though. So they weren't scared. Scent side of things, I think you'd be looking into that a bit more, Sarah, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, so what we've been doing is you can so there's certain candles that you can actually have lit, things like lavender, okay, really calming for us humans, but actually it's also a really positive effect for dogs as well. So you need to be careful for certain aromas, because certain aromas can have an aversive reaction to our dogs, but they quite like citrus smells that can be quite positively, and pine, so there's the smell of the forest, can be really nice for them. But again, having those lit and a couple of days in advance, so they kind of associate with that, in that regard. And I think you and Amy, when we were talking about this, you guys have used some sort of more holistic methods as well, haven't you?
Yeah, you can get the Adaptal plug-in diffusers, which I've used in the past, and I believe Amy has as well. Amy's used the Adaptal collars that you can pop on the dogs, and I think she's had some good success with that. Yeah. I use the Door West Skull Cap and Valerian. Again, that's something that you need to be starting early and building the dose up. And then there's also a liquid form you can use on the day. And I've found that's made a really big difference along with other work I've been doing. But that Valerian can make a huge difference, or has done in my experience. You can also talk to the vets about medication. If your dog is really, really scared, talk to your vet in advance about medication, because that can be a way to get through it for some dogs, and the right thing for those particular dogs. So there's quite a few different things on there, but as we've said, we've got a few different things. Pet Remedies, the other one. Different things work differently for different dogs depending on their needs. So there's plenty out there to explore.
Yeah, and I think sorry, I was going to say, and leaving on from the sort of the smell side of things, the other sense that's really important for our dogs is actually that touch, isn't it? That feeling of being connected with our human, and it's as much comfort for us, I think, as well, isn't it? So I was just, what do you do with your dogs?
Well, I think with mine, I've got one that when he's actually nervous, he likes to sort of be in his own space. He likes to sort of tuck away in his safe space. And if I go and sort of get too involved with him, I know he's not particularly, he doesn't need that at that point. He's better if he likes me in the room, but not necessarily hands-on touching him. But I know Sheppy, Amy's dog, wants to be right next to her, full physical contact, and that's what works best for Sheppy. So I think, again, it's working with what's best for your particular dog in regards to touch, isn't it? And again, going back to what you were saying earlier, Sarah, about the body language, reading that, and if your dog prefers to be near you. Louis, who's no longer with me, he just liked to be, he didn't necessarily want to fuss, but he just liked to be in contact a little bit. So we just wanted a head on the lap or something, just so that physical contact. Again, everybody's different, but it's working out what's right for your dog. No, but I think 100%. People worry sometimes that they're going to make it worse by fussing their dog, don't they?
Oh, I know. I mean, there's a lot of views out there that you're going to just create more fear by showing emotion to your dog, but actually it's complete opposite. Your dog will want to be, if they will like comfort, they will want to be comforted, and that can be a cuddle. If you rub your dog on the chest or their ears, can be really soothing and calming for them. And so my bitch Poppy, she just loves her tummy rubbed, and she's lying there, and I know that she's really comfortable. So, we'll sit on the love seat and she'll be there and be, really lovely cuddle and just reassuring for her. Whereas Manu, my boy is a bit like your dog, likes his own space. He's not, he likes to have that. But I think at the moment our beds are by the door, which goes onto a balcony, so very near the windows. So one of the things I'm starting to do is move the beds away slightly so that they've knocked nearer to the noise. So I just remembered they're going to do that. Brilliant. So just another pointer that if you have a bed that is actually in one particular place that could be nearer the noise, you can actually move those beds around the room so that they get used to that. Could be another idea.
Brilliant. And the big one that we haven't covered in great detail is sound, obviously. Masking sound. So
exactly.
So there's lots of things you can do there. There's the good old-fashioned radio. There's sort of the relaxing spa music can be an option. Putting a good film on, something on the telly, turning the volume up a little bit more. There's the drums.
Yeah, the taiko drums. Okay, so they're Japanese drums, and they kind of go boom, 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 boom. So they kind of draw out the sort of noise that they can hear in the distance, but they're quite booming themselves. So you just not to be careful that they're not kind of adding to it. But they're amazing. If you've never watched them online, they're actually pretty amazing just to watch. For pleasure.
I've heard really good things about that. I've heard
yeah.
There's been some really good success rates with that. But again, as you say, the drums can be quite booming, so don't just suddenly
and
we don't like some drums and get them used to them in advance. It's a good idea. We don't want drums and fireworks.
No, and the complete opposite spectrum to that is actually maybe just watching a film that makes you feel really happy. So I don't know. I think that would be something like Paddington Bear. I mean, who can't watch Paddington Bear and not feel happy? Most of them like Disney movies and stuff. But if you are feeling happy in yourself and euphoric, then that's going to be passing over to your dog. So it'll be great to pass that on. So it doesn't have to be something that's big and scary, like a horror movie or something that's noisy, but it can actually be something that's quite feel good as well.
Yeah, that turned me into an absolute wreck. My dog will be fine. But yeah, so going back to what we were saying earlier about the touch, the dogs can pick up on us. So it is important it's never nice if you can see your dog distressed. It's a horrible, horrible feeling, and we all know and understand that. But if we can put on something that keeps us nice and calm and relaxed as well, the dogs are going to feed off that. So it's important that we can, by all means, want to give them comfort, want them to feel safe, but try not to try and keep yourself quite calm with it and not going into distress. So make sure it's a film that works for you as well. Yeah, no horrors.
Well, we've got somebody listening at the moment who says their dog Tessa loves Vivaldi. So one of the 4 seasons. So I wonder if it's appropriate within the for the winter time. It's going to be the winter, or whether it's just all 4 seasons of Vivaldi, or not particularly fast. But I heard reggae music is really good for dogs. As well.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I don't know what it is.
There we go. We've
reggae music. Full suite.
We've got a month to trial all these different genres and see which is our dog's favourite then. And,
exactly.
What to put in place for when the fireworks start. So good plan there.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think before we go on to the Halloween for the last few minutes, I think it's really important just to say that, if your dog does come across and they're anxious, then the result is likely to be that their adrenaline levels are going to go up. And that adrenaline will need to have a release, and the best thing to do is it's likely to come through the following day, because if they're not sure about anything, then they may not be eating, they may not want to play, etc. So all that adrenaline is going to be building up during that evening of fireworks that they're going to be seeing. So 12 hours later, when they wake up in the morning, they would need to have that release. So it's just maybe something to mention, Claire, that maybe plan to have a bit of a play with your dog, give them some enrichment, watch Back to Our Live with some ideas of what you can do there, so that they get that opportunity to get rid of that built up adrenaline, and then kind of go, okay, things okay, nothing bad happened, okay, I can start carrying on, and rather than retaining that and therefore it becoming a longer term issue.
Definitely. Sarah, I just lost you for a little bit as you started to say that. The Wi-Fi just went a bit funny, so I'm just going to reiterate some of what you said. So if we were lost, but it is, as I think most of that we call, but the dogs, when their adrenaline goes up, it can take a little while to calm down, as Sarah was saying.
Exactly.
So it's considering a few days before fireworks and a few days after fireworks, kind of what you're doing in that time. So try not to have anything that's too stressful for your dogs. If your dog's got a favourite walk, I know one of mine loves one walk more than another, compared to a different walk, try and do the ones that they're more comfortable with. Make sure we've got plenty of that enrichment just to bring those adrenaline levels down. Lots of chewing, licking, as we've said before, is really, really good to help your dog relax. So it's quite important to consider the days before and the days after, and not put any extra pressure on our dogs during that period. So yeah, perfect.
Super. Right, Halloween. So I mean, you might not be thinking, well, what's why have we put Halloween on there? But actually, we wanted to do something a bit fun, because obviously it felt a bit kind of, it can be a bit heavy, fireworks. We were telling, we're recommending what things to do, for the safety and well-being of your dog. So we wanted to talk a little bit about some of the fun elements. But one of the things that I've seen, I think Halloween has become more and more Americanized, hasn't it, over here, and everything gets more decorated, houses. And unfortunately,
it's got bigger and bigger every year, I think.
Yeah, and unfortunately, our little four-legged friends start to become the sort of, creatures that they want to take out on Halloween night and stuff like that, don't they? People do.
Yeah, there's a phase on Instagram and places like that where it's like, let's dress my dog up as a pumpkin, and the dog can look cute as a pumpkin, but if you understand body language, sometimes you're looking at these poor dogs and they are so unhappy in these costumes. So on a surface level, it could look quite cute, but understanding how they're feeling, it can be quite restricted. It can be quite distressing. So just if you are somebody that's interested in dressing your dog up, please be aware of their body language. Please be aware if it's restricting movements, causing them any pressure, and if it is, then work on your pumpkin carving skills, because you can get some really good looking pumpkins that you can post on Instagram instead of some fantastic ones of dogs and things along those lines. Try and go down that route instead. There's the normal health and safety bit around the sorry, Sarah.
No, carry on.
So the health and safety bit with Halloween, being aware again of the chocolate. We know that chocolate is not good for our dogs, so please make sure trick and treating is not, any treats are not left lying around for the dog to eat. And also be aware of how the impact of somebody coming in and out of the doors. If your doorbell gets rung a lot during trick and treating time, just be aware of how that can affect your dog, and being a bit mindful of that as well.
Yeah. Now, what I was going to say is, talking of pumpkin, well, obviously we only get pumpkins around at Halloween. So pumpkin or butternut squash is actually one of the things I use a lot with my dogs, because they just love it. And actually, it's really good if they've got an upset tummy, because it's very, it's not, it doesn't affect their tummy and their digestion as some other things might do. So it's a really good thing if your dog's got an upset tummy to give them a butternut squash or pumpkin. But there are some really good recipes. So after this, I'll put a link to some pumpkin treats that people can make for their dogs. So with all those bits that you're going to carve out of your pumpkin, then we've got a way in order to reuse those to make treats for your dog. And trust me, they don't smell anywhere near as bad as liver cake, which if you've made it as a dog lover, I think you only ever do liver cake once and never really go back.
You really love your dogs if you're doing it on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Yeah, so thanks to Amy sent us through some recipes and links to that. So thanks to Amy for that. We've got a few things that we can go out over Halloween because of that. So thank you. So have you got any games that you're looking at over Halloween then, Sarah?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to every year I do like a witch's cauldron. So I've got a box, Amazon normally, just and stuff, and then because that seems to be the most popular brand arriving at my house. And then basically I just put different smells and items in it, a bit of Eye of Newt and a bit of a toad. And no, I'm joking. But, I kind of create that enrichment box, but make it a bit of fun, some fun treats, make some of those pumpkin treats to put in there. And so they kind of got something to play around with in that regard. So that seems to work for mine, because mine are terriers. So anything to do with sniffing and destroying stuff is just winner for them.
We're sausage bobbing, the dog take on apple bobbing, and if you've been to sort of any of the greyhound events locally, and any of them, there's normally a sausage bobbing. There's normally a paddling pool full of sausages, and it's one of the go-to stands at any events that get run locally. It's really popular. So that's a dog-friendly way of doing your apple bobbing, and they love that.
Oh, and I presume you cook the sausages first so they float.
They're the hot dog.
The hot dog.
There's a lot of pre-bought hot dog tin sausages.
Exactly.
So they go down an absolute treat.
Yeah.
So
Well, I saw
you've
saw
done
a few
things to do
people
around.
recommending that apple bobbing actually in the summer when the dogs are really, when it was really hot, and trying to increase water for your dogs to drink, actually using apples and fruit or anything that they liked in the summer as well. So I think, you know, we try it for now and see whether they get interested in it, and then it's something you can use with other items, you know, throughout the year.
Going on, yeah, excellent. I like that. The only thing to be mindful with the apples, as you know, with the health and safety, is the pips. So no, don't let your dog eat the pips of the apples, but everything else is
all
good.
fine. Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's we've got one question that's come in from Subi saying, do we cook the pumpkin?
You're the one that stuffed it today. You're the one that stuffed.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I've stuffed it today. So yes, definitely cook the pumpkin and butternut squash, and I cook it so it becomes quite sort of pulp like, because that works really well. You can put that on lick macs, wobble balls, on kongs, and it's quite a good binding thing with their kibble and other bits and pieces. So so definitely cook it. You put, I know my dog likes raw carrots, but for pumpkin and squash, you would need to cook it.
Thank you. Lovely.
Okay. I think we've answered all the questions. Amanda, by the way, said it was spring was her favourite, so Tessa doesn't mind, but she gets to play her favourite one. So, I think we've got all the questions answered, and hopefully given some people some advice and support. If you do have any other questions, or you maybe want to go into a bit more detail with some of the things that we've talked about to help prepare for you and your dog, then just get in touch with either Amy, Claire, or I, and we'd be happy to help.
Definitely. A couple of dates for the diary. I think it's 24th of October. I don't know if we mentioned the date is going to be Diwali, and obviously then 5th of November we've got fireworks. But if you're anything like around here, sometimes it doesn't just hold to one night. It can be weeks before and afterwards. So just to be aware of that. When we talked about enrichment earlier, as Sarah said, we've got a live which will be on all of our pages. If you want to learn more about enrichment, if you go back over our posts, you will find that. And we're planning another one all about Christmas for the 27th of November. So if you'd like to find out a bit more about dogs' advice over the Christmas period, then watch out for that. We'll pop something on our socials nearer the time to let you know. But Thank you ever so much for watching, and thank you for joining.
Thank you. It'd be lovely to see you again, Claire, and we'll see you again in a month's time.
Lovely. Thanks ever so much, Sarah. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.